Today's video I'll be shooting my M1 Carbine. Okay, this is my M1 Carbine. My father gave it to me for a Christmas present back in the 80s. I believe he got it in the early 60s through the CMP program. He paid $14 for it or $17 for it or something like that. I believe it's an inland. I don't know for sure, but that's what I remember when I got it. That's what I decided it is. The original plans of this gun were developed in prison. Guy in prison came up with a basic design of it. He got out and then the gun got developed. The idea of the gun was to take the place of the handgun, and the story that I got back in the day is a little bit different than the story you'll get now, but the story was that they wanted to give officers in the field of something a little bit more to carry than just the handgun. So the whole idea of it was to give them something light to carry and give them a little bit more range and a little bit more oomph than a handgun. I do know that, as well as everybody else knows, that it ended up in the hands of the paratroopers, and I'm not so sure they were happy with the choice or not. I've never had the privilege of talking to anybody that was carrying it, so I just flat don't know. In my case, given a choice between being saddled with this rifle or having to deal with M1 Garand Thumb, I would go with M1 Garand Thumb every day. So anyway, the horsepower of it, it was spec'd out to leave at 1990 feet a second. It's a 110 grain bullet. When you compare it to a 115 grain 9mm bullet, it is more than double the energy at the muzzle, and even at 100 yards, it's still going a little over 1,500 feet a second. And retained energy at that point is about 550 pounds of retained energy, which is much more than you're ever going to get out of a 9mm, 115 grain 9mm. Now the 45 ACP, yet again, it's a lot heavier bullet, so it's a little bit different to comparison with. This is a 460 Roland. If it looks a little funny to you, that's why. But this is the same length as a 45 ACP. 230 grain ball ammo, leaving at 860 feet a second. Even at 100 yards, this 110 grain bullet will still have more muzzle energy than the 45 ACP did at the muzzle. Okay, this gun, as far as features go, they're kind of lacking. There's a pin on top of the bolt here that when you pull the bolt back, you have to push that pin down and that'll lock the bolt back in place. Now, as far as features go, you know, you got the standard, the safety is right there. I'm not sure I like the location of it because as you pull it back, your finger kind of falls onto the trigger, which could be a bad thing. You could have rounds accidentally going off. The magazine release is, you know, located typical magazine release place. Okay, this 30 round magazine on the follower, I don't know if you could see it right there or not, but there's a, it's cut straight down. So when the magazine runs empty, the bolt can't go forward. So when the bolt comes back, it locks on the mag. The problem with that is if you push the magazine release, the magazine will not fall out. It requires two hands. You got to push on that, this, and then the bolt falls on you. So when you reload it, you got to pull it back and release it. So there's a lot of things going on there. Instead of just hitting a mag release, slap one in there, hit the bolt release, you're ready to go. This one requires you to hit with this type of magazine follower. It requires you to two hands to pull it out. Then you got to grab your extra magazine, you stick it in there, and you got to rack around. Now with the magazine follower, this one has a little bit of a ramp on it. So when the last round goes through the gun and it cycles, it's still going to close the bolt and you're not going to know that it's empty. So when you pull the trigger, nothing happens. So you lose a little time there when that happens, but the bolt or the magazine will fall out. So when you grab your, you know, get out your next magazine, slap it in there, you have to rack the next round. So it's a little bit more time consuming than a more modern gun would be, where you just hit the magazine release, slap your magazine in, hit the bolt release, and you're back in action. Okay, as far as the rear sight goes, There's 4 notches on it, and it seems to me that they cover 100, 200, 300, and 400. When I was shooting at 100 in, I always had it all the way forward. You push it back to the first notch, that's 200 yards. It seemed to work quite well on the 200-yard target, so I was happy with that. I got out to the 300-yard target. I think in the video you'll see me getting whipped a little bit at 300 yards. It could have been me, could be the ammo, could be the accuracy of the gun, could be a lot of things. When I moved it all the way out to 400 at my farthest target, which was 380 yards to the bottom of the target, and I was hitting it. The target is 24 wide by 18 tall, but I did get a couple hits on it. I'm not impressed with the accuracy on it, but then I was always holding freehand, so you never know. That could be me. M1 Carbine. Let's have some fun. Soda bottle. Oh, not too bad. Beer can. Not too bad. Water bottle. Not too bad. Bowling pin. Bowling pin. Give this a go at 100 yards. Okay, I moved the sight up 200 yards. Dunk. 200 yards. Man, it's not dinging at all, but it is getting hit. Okay, 16-inch square, 300 yards. .380 yards, sight all the way up. I believe I might have hit that. Ah, that was bad. I think I heard the ding on that one. 380 yards. 24 wide, 18 tall. .300 yards. Ding, 300 yards. Ding, 300 yards. Okay, 200 yards. Not sure if I hit it or not. That sounded weird. That one I hit. .200 yards. This thing's not too bad. It's a bit of a shooter at distance. Too bad it's got no energy while it's there. Let's try 100 yards. It's a distance this gun should be able to be effective out too. 4 out of 5. I suck. Let's see if we can't get that tin can to move. A little bit. A little bit. There we go. Okay, a little bit of playing here. Barely got that 4th shot. I had the sight up. I ended up aiming low there at 100 yards. That's why I missed the short one. It was okay for the close stuff, but not for the far stuff. Hundred yards. Last round. Booyah! This thing can shoot. Not the greatest, not the most accurate. But if it's all you got, you can make it work.